Evening everyone. Here we've got chicken and mushroom risotto for you.
สวัสดีค่ะเพื่อนๆวันนี้เราจะมาทำไก่เห็ดชาปิยองริซอตโตนะคะจะกินกับสลัดหรือว่าจะกินกับขนมปังกระเทียมก็ได้ค่ะทำไม่ยากง่ายๆค่ะหวังว่าเพื่อนๆคงจะชอบนะคะ
Okay, you can have it with garlic bread or salad. And let's have a look at the ingredients. If you like this, please subscribe and like the post. Not many ingredients for you tonight, so we'll just whiz through them. Now, risotto, of course, is an Italian dish. Therefore, they use arborio rice. But if you can't get it, you can, as we will tonight, use Japanese rice, which works just as well and is different but much the same. 220 grams of Japanese or arborio rice. 240 grams of fillet chicken breast, 80 grams of mushrooms. We're using a mix of champignon and brown ones. And then the vegetable quotient, we've got 70 grams of spinach leaves here.
ผักขมค่ะ70 กรัม
Then here we've got one very thinly sliced leek.
ต้นกระเทียมค่ะ1 ต้น
Then we've got half an onion chopped here and 3 cloves of garlic finely chopped. And we've got some Parmesan cheese, 30 grams.
ใช่ Parmesan cheese 30 กรัมค่ะ
We've got half a teaspoon of dried oregano and a teaspoon of chopped fresh parsley. Then there's also 30 grams of cream. The Italians tend to use butter. This goes in at the end, but cream is much lighter. And 175 grams of any old white wine. We're using a rather nice Australian Chardonnay because we've got it. And then to flesh out the whole bulk of the rice, half a litre of chicken stock. And at the end, you may need salt and pepper to flavour it. Pop a tablespoon of olive oil into the dish that you're going to be using for this evening. We use a non-stick. And the first step is to fry the onions and the garlic, and then also add the leek in the olive oil, medium heat. We want to fry them until the leek the leek and the onion have started to turn golden. As you can see, that's going brownish, so we're ready for the next step, which is to add the chicken and the mushrooms and give them a good stir around, and we'll fry them for a couple of minutes. So let the mushrooms wilt and the flavour and juices to come out. The next stage is to add the rice, sprinkle it across the vegetables and chicken in there, and stir it around, and we'll fry it for a couple of minutes. Again, not too fast, and be careful the rice doesn't stick. If it does, no problem, just scrape it off the bottom. Keep it moving, and this is to nuttify the rice. That's looking good. It's been in there a couple of minutes, so the next stage is to add the herbs. Firstly, in goes the oregano and the fresh parsley. It's got a bit damp in the kitchen, and the wine as well. And stir it around, and we now keep it on a lowish heat but simmering for approximately 5 minutes. And during that time we want to make sure, and this is important, make sure that the chicken stock, which goes in next, is quite warm. Cold doesn't work as well as if it's warm, because we don't want the rice to lose its temperature. So while this cooks for 5 minutes, heat up your chicken stock. Make sure you keep stirring it around so it doesn't burn. That's been going for 5 minutes. The next step, all that's really left, is the chicken stock, which needs to be added. I hope you warmed it up, by the way. Added a couple of spoonfuls at a time and stirred around until it's been absorbed by the rice and the mixture has gone sort of dryish, and then add a bit more of it. This can be done as quickly as you feel. We've only got one last lot to go in, but you need to be patient with this stage and keep it mixed, turning it over, stirring it around to let the rice cook as well as absorb all the chicken stock. We're going to put the last lot in a second. You can see most of it's absorbed. It's almost ready, but not quite. We just had a taste of it, and the rice has still got a little bit longer to go. And remember, the cream still has to go in, so if anything, you want it to be a bit drier than this. Looks like it's ready now because it's going to start browning very soon. So the last stage is to add the cream and then the Parmesan cheese sprinkled across as well, and the spinach, which we cut into slightly smaller pieces. The spinach goes in as well, and then we mix it all together and turn it over. Make sure it's well mixed so that the spinach is in contact with all the mixture. And then we turn the heat off. And pop the lid on and leave it for 3 or 4 or maybe 5 minutes to give the spinach time to wilt from the heat of the mixture all around it. Okay, it's been in there about 4 minutes now. The spinach has wilted, so all that's left is to have a quick taste of it and see if it needs any salt or pepper. Probably a light sprinkling of pepper, I should think, and a tiny bit of salt. What do you reckon, darling?
Yes, we need salt.
Needs a bit of salt. And then we'll dish it up. So there we have it, it's dished up, and all that's left to do is a light sprinkling of cheese on the top. We've got some grated cheese, and that is what you're left with for tonight. Recommended to eat it with a slice of garlic bread, or maybe a rocket salad, or personally I'd like a mozzarella, tomato and mango salad, and of course a glass of white wine. Enjoy.